so today we're going to be disassembling and cleaning and lubricating these bearings right here. I'm going to go ahead and just remove this. So I can just remove that and do the same thing with this side here. Let's go ahead and remove this one. Alright, so here's the bearings. It's just PVC, and I drilled some holes in there, and I'll just lay that there and grab some paper towels here and clean these up. Let's disassemble this, clean this all up. I've tried different types of lubricants, 3-in-1 oil, Superzilla brand lubricant, and silicone, but the Vaseline seems to work the best. So that's all cleaned up. Continue with this one. So it made a little flat spot right here. So what I'll do is when I reassemble this, I'll just turn it around to the other side. So now I just want to clean up the excess lubricant. You can see here the scarring that's happened, but I plan on building a new system for it that will be a little bit better. But for right now, I'm not too worried about it, and we'll go ahead and reassemble it. Alright, so we have that. Just slide it back under there. So just slide this down. Hopefully I have it on the right ones. They just need to be snug. They don't have to be perfect. Okay, so now I'll lube them up with this. And I've got a popsicle stick in here. That's what I use to apply the petroleum jelly to it. Tighten these back down. And so there should be just a little bit of play in there. Looks like it's got a lot going that way. I don't like that. See, going this way, it might cause some issues. It doesn't have a lot up and down, but it does have a lot left to right, and I don't like that. So maybe I put them in there wrong. Okay, so I went ahead and just turned it around, and now we have a lot less play there, so I just had it in backwards. That's perfect. That's exactly where I want it to be. Just a little tiny bit of play in there, not too much, because if it doesn't have enough, it'll kind of bind up a little bit. Don't want that. And just tighten these down a little bit by hand. So while we're over here, we're going to check out the potentiometer. And this has a tendency to want to walk out a little bit. And this is just from the original CH Products Yoke that operated the potentiometer for roll. And I don't really hear any spring chattering. I keep that nice and lubricated good. Then we've got this one back here for the elevator control, and it walks out as well. And I put an extension on here. That way I've got some more travel. And it matches the travel of the elevator, so that it's a nice one-to-one. And it returns basically to center there. That's what we want. And now I'll go over and do the other side over there. Now on this one, what I did is I made a couple of little indexing marks. I put that, supposed to be a T on the top, and just a little line on the bottom one, so I know which way that they went in to begin with. And then that way when I assemble it, I don't have the same problem as the other side and accidentally put it in backwards. And this bottom one has a similar flat spot right here. Probably can't even see it, but I can see it. Just a little bit of some marring right there, and that'll cause some friction, a little flat spot. So what I'll do with this one, and there's my index mark, I will turn it over this way, and it'll mount in like this. Similar to the one on the bottom, the one on the top, you can see it there has some marring right there in the center where the tube, the torque tube rides. So I will take this, there's my indexing mark right there, and I'll just take this and turn it upside down so that it has a fresh surface. And then in a couple of years I'll have to replace these, but by then I'll have a new system set up with a force feedback control system that won't use these types of bearings at all. These are just kind of a stopgap measure until I could get something better. So, but they work actually pretty good, surprisingly. I've tried a different number of bearing setups, homemade bearing setups, and this one works the best out of all of them so far. So for these yoke bearings, I've got to take out the panel holder for my standard 6. It just comes out like that. It's made out of cardboard. And there's the bearings for the rear bearings there. You can see they got a little bit of dirt on them. But just from cleaning those, you can see how nicely they move nice and free. Now I'd like to put stronger springs on here, but my worry is that, you know, usually you move it with one hand like this, and there's a collar right here that's made out of plastic, and any kind of side load on that could potentially break that or break some of the plastic here. So that's something I have to really think about with force feedback systems, is how much pressure can be put on this. The ideal solution would be to get actual aluminum, cast aluminum handlebars, control wheels, whatever you want to call them, from a real Cessna to install in here. But for right now, I just have these two CH products, Yoke handlebars, control wheels, whatever, that I took off of a couple of junk ones to make my dual control setup. So, and here's the shower curtain rod, and I use the ends for the shower curtain rod as the bezels, and there's little teeth in there, and you have to bend those out of the way, and you can see the little marks that I put on there. Well, you really can't, but there's little marks on there from bending those, but they're not really that easy to see. This right here is I used some 3-in-1 oil at one point to try for lubrication. Like I said, I tried all different types of lubrication, and you can see what happened. It just sort of seeped out and started to mess with my cover here, which is made out of gray poster board. So that wasn't all that great of an idea, but it is what it is, and it can just stay like that until I make a new dash for this. Like for the co-pilot side there, I put some indexing marks. So I put a T here for top, and then a little minus sign down there for the bottom. So here's something interesting that I discovered, that I might not even need these bearings back here, because check it out. It really doesn't have any more play than it did before, and it should potentially reduce friction, not having to have bearings in the front there or in the back here. So maybe I'll try just leaving this out and see what happens. Now I'm not sure if it's going to work for the other side, because I didn't do that great of a job of getting these little spikes tucked away back there. Maybe I can remove that and take care of that too, and then not have to have these rear bearings and cut down on some of the friction that's caused from that. So that's something I just discovered. Learn something new every day. Moving on to the co-pilot side. So I have to remove this. This is my engine monitoring system here. So we just take this out, and there's a little connector here. Remove that. And then there's a connector here for the power. So remove that. And this whole thing just comes right out. And we have access to the bearing down in there. So I'm going to try to remove this one and see if I have the same luck as the pilot side and not even having to have that bearing in there.